as early as April, a Therapeutic and vaccine expert panel, we call it TextVax for short, was actually formed. This was in April. So I chair that group. It comprises scientists, clinicians, public health experts, regulators, and even people from industry who understand not only how drugs and vaccines are made, but how they're actually manufactured in a factory. And what we did was collectively using the views of these 18 people, as well as many others whom we co-opted, to actually provide advice in terms of trying to understand how that science translates into buying a vaccine. At the start, obviously it's challenging because even by May or June, there were probably close to 100 projects. So it's how do you choose out of 100 which ones to buy? Particularly when in early vaccine development, chance of success could be 1 in 10 in a very early stage clinical development. So we had to decide how do you choose and buy using the best available science. And at the start, there was actually very little data. Some of the projects didn't even have animal data. But just like most regulatory authorities, we evaluated the data as they came. We met 35 companies, probably more than 100 meetings over the past 8 months. And slowly we sort of streamlined down to the few that were shortlisted. The regulatory authorities, HSA, came in fairly early as well. So once we had interest in a vaccine, it doesn't mean we were going to even buy. But once we had interest to say this is in the short list, some of these companies actually talked to HSA fairly early, months ahead of the actual approval. And as each data package came along, they evaluated that. One of the difference between this and a typical procurement, I think there was a question on that, is that you work on a rolling basis on the best available data at that point in time. In a typical case, you evaluate when the whole data package is available, sometimes even 1 to 2 years after a clinical trial. But now we're doing it on a rolling basis. As and when data comes, you evaluate it. So that's actually a big difference.